online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Last seasons.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday evening, Survivor Wednesday. If you are tuning into AfterBuzzTV.com, you have come to the right place. This is the after show for season 31, Survivor Second Chances, episode 2, Survivor MacGyver. I'm your host, James Wallington, and we have a full house tonight in our studio. Allow me to introduce you to the beautiful ladies to my left.
Hi. I thought you were going to introduce me. I was just waiting to blink of my eye. Hi guys, I'm Marina Santos.
Hi, I'm Susannah Kim. Find me on Twitter at Susanna_Kim.
And I'm Paige Bonanno. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Paige Bonanno.
Well, yay. I'm excited. We have a full panel this evening. And episode 2, great episode. Overall thoughts, what did you guys think?
I had a pit in my stomach the entire episode, and especially at the end, I was biting my nails. Oh my god,
it's a lot of drama.
I loved it.
Drama.
People talking behind each other's backs
and to their faces.
And to their faces as well.
Yeah, you see the episode flip in a second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's break it down. This episode, we're gonna do things a little bit differently than we did in the past. We're gonna start off talking about the Bayon Tribe and kind of give a little update of what we saw this episode. Right off the bat, it seemed like it was the Survivor MacGyver show. It was all about Joe from Survivor Worlds Apart. Ladies, what do you think of the Bayon Tribe, and what do you think of Joe?
I love Joe.
I think that's
maybe just because Joe's sexy, but I do like him as a player too.
No, he can do anything. Come on, he made hammocks for everyone.
Yeah.
I would have taken a hammock.
I would have definitely taken a hammock.
Well, and Joe says he's I want to be the person that people not only want around, but that they need around.
Exactly.
That they can't get rid of me because they need me. And as of right now, it seems like everybody does need Joe to be there.
But on the other end of the spectrum, we did hear Steven say tonight that Joe is the perfect type of player at the beginning of the game. And then he builds the shelters, he's contributing around camp, but then at the merge, you're just going to slit his neck.
Yeah.
You don't need him anymore.
That's true.
So it's kind of working to his disadvantage as well as his favor right now.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how in the show you don't want to be the best player because then you instantly become a target. And
Exactly. Right.
So
and he
Joe,
even made fire the first time too. Yeah. He was like, "Hey, look at me."
Yeah.
And Joe
play dumb.
Yeah, play dumb. And Steven said that Joe's too good for his own self, and he's too much of the golden boy threat. And I think that we will see history repeat itself like we did on Survivor Worlds Apart, where Joe, eventually, it's just gonna...
They just don't need him anymore.
Yeah, it's just gonna be your downfall. You're just too likable.
Right. But until that happens, can we keep him on camera as long as possible? Can we just get as much
The
footage?
amount of tweets I saw tonight on Twitter of just women being oh my gosh, we need to keep Joe around. If Joe goes home anytime soon, I won't have a reason to watch this show anymore.
Exactly.
So Joe
we might not be on this panel anymore if Joe goes home.
I'll watch it for Savage.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, well, speaking
We got
of
a lot of sexy guys on this
we
season.
do. Speaking of Savage, he opened up a lot about his wife tonight and how they met and how they fell in love, and definitely was tugging on our heartstrings a little bit. And in that moment, Jeremy was kind of, being brought back to, my wife Val, she's pregnant back at home, but he doesn't want a lot of people on his tribe to know that.
I don't think
because he would think it would be a threat. People might be like, oh, he has a pregnant wife at home, he's got to go. If he gets to the end, people are going to want him to win. So I think Savage... He's looking pretty good.
It's just a crazy game that you can't even say that your wife's pregnant because it's going to work against you. It's just nuts.
But I thought it was so smart that Savage just jumped on that opportunity when he saw, he was like, hey, by the way, they're already talking about you, saying you're looking for the idol, and, throwing
it also
Steven under the
says
bus
a lot about,
bit.
how perceptive of a player he is.
Yes.
Because immediately Steven was like, oh, gosh, he's going to look for the idol. Do you think he's looking for the idol? And getting all paranoid. And then Andrew's
super paranoid,
Steven's was all about game, no emotion.
Yeah, and he was like, you don't think that maybe he just got emotional because I was saying a story about my wife and he's thinking about his family? Like,
Right.
Steven automatically thinks that it's about the idol, and he doesn't have any emotion in the game.
And I think it shows a lot about the type of player Savage is. If he's going to keep up this very, like, perceptive, like, keen on people and their characteristics, I think he could go really far if he reads people like he did tonight with Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very aware. The whole episode, he was really aware, actually.
Let's talk about Steven. I'm a little disappointed in him. I'm not going to lie.
He's acting really strange. Like a robot, like, oh.
He's more focused on the game than anything else.
Right.
And I understand that it is a second chance, so you're probably a little bit more eager to just like dive in and be more focused on the strategy and the game, but Steven's just kind of losing it for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody's liking him because of the way he is and how he's like talking, and it's not like he's being smart about it, right? It's okay if like in your mind you're thinking these things. Like if you thought in his mind like, oh, maybe he's looking for the idol. No, but he's like telling people, and like people are seeing this side of him that it's not gonna help him.
Right.
Exactly.
I
He's
feel
too
like I
intense.
still haven't seen, I still feel like I want to see more of Steven though, like go on, because I feel like I can't really analyze him that well yet because I want to see more of him as we keep going forward.
I mean, as long as Bayon doesn't lose, because we did hear Andrew, or Savage, excuse me, tonight say, hey, like if it were up to me, his time out here is limited. So we might
not
see
even see
Steven
that much
leave
more time
very
with him.
soon.
Yeah.
That could have been like a foreshadowing soundbite that's
I
like
could see it happening.
true. Yeah.
building up
Totally.
Steven's big demise of
Big
being
demise.
eliminated.
Yeah. I could see it.
Yeah.
Another player on the Bayon Tribe that I think we should totally talk about this evening is Cass. We know her from Survivor Cagayan, and she was known as Chaos Cass. That's her legacy on the show. But to see more of a softer side of Cass was really refreshing. Tonight, one of the quotes that stuck out to me was, if they make me a better person and a better player, I'll take it. You need to have feelings in this game. If we're talking about her and Abby Maria, two villains obviously going into this season of the show, Abby's more focused on the growth, and Cass is just already growing. And Cass is doing a really great job at adapting and understanding that in this game, a lot of what's going to get you further in the competition is the personal relationships you build with the other people.
It seems like it's just like naturally happening for Cass, whereas Abby Maria's forcing it so much that she's just not growing because she's so into it and so focused on telling everybody that she's growing that she's not actually growing.
Yeah.
Whereas Cass is like, I really feel like I have been growing, and she is.
Exactly.
Well, people say like you don't have to tell people how good you are at something. If you're good, they know.
They'll see it themselves.
And Abby is like, hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Like she's like,
What are you talking about?
what are you talking about?
What do you think?
I'm so
Totally
nice
negates
now.
that.
Oh my God.
And I think it just doesn't come across as genuine, and people can tell.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't seem genuine at all.
No.
0% of it
Although
seems
now
genuine.
it seems to kind of be working for her because they're like, hey, well, let me take you to the end since you're not going to win.
Exactly. Well, it totally did work for her.
Well, with the Bayon Tribe, because they're not losing any challenges, we haven't really seen a lot of airtime with this tribe. We know a lot of things that are going on. They seem to be like a really cohesive group, but because they're doing well, the focus in each episode is sort of shifted to Takeo. Let's talk about Takeo, shall we?
Shall we?
Right off the bat, Jeff Varner once again is just a star to me. Every interview he's in, I'm captivated by what he has to say.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
so entertaining.
He's killing it.
I just don't trust anything Jeff Varner says.
Really?
He's a great actor.
Even when he talks to the audience, you get
I don't really, no. I like Jeff, but I don't trust anything he says now.
Really? I think he's kind of genuine. I mean, he's
But
hilarious.
he's telling every single, he has to do it to play the game, but like he's
Right.
telling every single person a different thing. So it's just like, I think, he's doing what he has
He's
to do
playing
to
the
get
game.
far. Yeah.
But
it's just, I personally just don't believe what he's saying now.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. We did see when the tribe got back from tribal council after voting out Vetus, immediately Jeff starts talking about how I switched up the votes tonight.
At the last minute.
Turned on my old schoolers because I need the old schoolers to wake up and realize this game has changed. This game has evolved. It's no longer 2001. It's time to wake up.
And he needs the new schoolers to trust him.
And at first it's like, okay, Varner, you're getting a little too eager and anxious, but of course it's working out to his favor. All these different puzzle pieces are coming together. And I'm like, wow, like Varner's setting himself up really nicely right now within that tribe. He already automatically sees Abby Maria as a potential vote to pull closer. Just, I think he's smart and totally
He's
just in tune with what's going on around him.
He's definitely the best one in the show in terms of creating his own strategy to save his own ass.
Right. And it's weird because at first it kind of seemed like he was just there having a good time, because that's what I thought last episode. And then this episode, he just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Like ever since Tribal Council, he's like, oh, this is how I want to play.
Right.
And
he's like
just went
coming to be
for
the
it.
strongest person.
Yeah, he's already thinking about the end. So I love that.
And he's executing, right? He thinks about things and he makes them happen.
Exactly.
So,
while still being likable. I mean, I think he's hilarious.
He's really
So
funny, today.
Well, he's executing it so well that he automatically pulled Terry aside the next morning and was like, let's talk. Because Terry's obviously feeling at the bottom at this point. He's like, Jeff flipped on the votes.
Yeah.
He
Right.
was supposed to be with us old schoolers. I don't know what happened. Jeff is reeling Terry back in and saying, hey, we got to wake up. Like, this game is completely different than the way we played it the first time around. And that's where Jeff in his little interview says, get off your ass and play this game. It's not 2001 anymore.
Yeah.
So he vocalized to Terry in that moment that he would like to see either Shireen or Spencer be the next one out, which is kind of setting up the story beautifully for this entire episode.
Yeah.
But then we see Terry have that realization moment where he's like, yeah, Survivor's changed. I woke up. So Varner's doing a great job at executing this social
Exactly.
game
Puppet
because
master.
it's working out for him real nice.
Real nicely. Yeah.
Someone that's not working out so nicely for is Abby Maria.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about her for a second.
For a second.
She clearly came into this season of Second Chance wanting to give it her all, prove that she has some growth in her. This is her second chance to prove that she can be likable.
She has to prove it.
But
Did
let
everybody
me
get that? She has to prove it to everybody. Did we see that?
But it ain't working. Abby Maria, there's nothing about you that's growing at all. You're the same girl you were on Survivor Philippines. And as a fan, I just have a really hard time watching her.
Oh my
I
God.
don't really find her all that entertaining because it's the same old story. There's nothing new or dynamic to Abby Maria as a player other than a complainer and confrontational, which makes great reality television. I praise her for that.
That's what I was
Creating
gonna say.
drama.
Yes.
She makes me feel like I'm watching a different show almost.
But
you
she's
know?
not a
Like,
player, and that's why it's
exactly.
so frustrating for me as a fan. I've watched this for years, since season 1. I'm a super fan. That I'm just so mad that it's like, Abby Maria, you just suck at this game.
Yeah.
You suck. And I want her so badly to just be shaken up and be like, oh wow, like I need to start playing this game and actually growing, because otherwise she's gonna go home. So I'm just like
She
getting so
doesn't know.
heated.
She thinks that she's good at it though.
And
That's
she's
what's more
not.
frustrating.
She's
She's
saying
so
that she's great.
unaware.
Yeah.
Like, how are you so unaware of
She's
yourself?
like, I'm so happy that these people are finally realizing and getting joy out of me. I'm like,
No,
no one's
honey,
getting joy out of you.
no.
They're playing you.
And
bought that.
she's making us look bad.
I was gonna say, Marina is Brazilian. What is your take on Abby Maria? Can I ask, is it a cultural thing?
No, it is not. We're
Okay.
usually
We heard it here, folks.
usually very friendly. Brazilians are very friendly, welcoming people. But she's half Brazilian, so maybe.
Oh, that's why.
There you
The
go.
other half.
I don't know. I'm like disappointed. She's making us look bad.
Hey, well, you
Even
heard it
I
here.
don't like watching her.
Yeah.
It's like,
Ooh, yikes. So Abby Maria, if you're watching this, just know from a loving place, I want to see more from you.
Yeah.
That is why I'm frustrated, because it's like, it's the same old story. You're playing the victim and it gets old. It gets old.
Yeah.
So, talking about this growth, back to being Abby Maria in her old ways, she confronts PG on the beach saying, I heard you, what are you guys talking about over here? And she's like, we're literally just talking about the shelter. Like, that's what Spencer came over here to ask me about.
Yeah.
And Maria's like, well, what's going on?
Oh,
so awkward.
And PG's like,
she's like, what?
Yeah,
That was so weird.
that was weird.
And then she's like, I just really, want to continue this friendship. And Peter's like, what?
Yeah,
What
right.
are you talking about? Like, it made no sense.
no,
No,
it
not
made
at all.
no
It was
sense.
so awkward.
It was super awkward.
yeah, poor
It's
Spencer's
hilarious.
just kind of sitting in the middle of that, like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the drama with Abby Maria continues. I mean, granted, she's getting her airtime. She's obviously doing something right. But it continues so much where her own alliance members, the technical, like, new school alliance, is laughing about Shireen. Because they're like, oh my gosh, Shireen's like, I was trying to have a conversation with PG over in the bushes, and Abby Maria pops up saying, like, I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys.
She
And
popped
Shireen's
up
just like,
out of nowhere. I was like, where did this girl go from?
and I can't imagine living with that in a
No.
survival situation where obviously you're uncomfortable, and then you have Abby Maria in the mix, and it's just like, yikes.
I can
like,
agree with that.
let me breathe.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
breathe. And Abby Maria just trying to stir the pot. So it obviously sets Shireen to want to go talk to everyone in the shelter and say, Abby Maria, she's driving me insane.
Right. Well, so, she comes up and confronts the two of them, but like she attacks PG and doesn't really say anything to Shireen, as if Shireen's not even talking about her when they're both talking about her behind her back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I know that she didn't really like PG from the beginning, but she just attacked her and didn't say anything to Shireen about it.
And I love how Shireen kind of.
And she just got out of the situation. Like, she just left. And that was her demise in the end. Was her leaving right there was like her demise in the end,
But then we did have one moment where I was like, oh, I actually feel sorry for Abby Maria right now.
When she was on the beach crying by
herself. It was the one quote that really stuck out to me and resonated in me was, I thought Shireen would have my back. I wanted to work with her because she felt so alone on her season that I just thought that we could connect on that level. So in that moment, I was like, oh, I actually feel sorry for Abby. I just don't think she gets it. I just don't think she understands how to interact with people. She's not good with social cues. She's not good with just biting her tongue.
Right.
Doesn't understand the consequences of her behavior.
Yeah.
Because she says things like, oh, I just want to be annoying, and she goes, like, messes things up. Like that she, interrupted the guys when they were talking on the beach, and she's like, oh, should I go over there and just see what they're talking about? And she's like, yeah, I'm just going to be annoying. And she goes up and just, mixes it up for no reason. Yeah. And then she's surprised that no one likes her. So it's so hard to really empathize with that.
Yeah.
It's not out whine, out annoy, and out bitch. It's literally out win, out play, out last. Don't get me wrong, but...
Out bitch.
But it seems like she kind of put herself in a good position unwillingly and unknowingly because Terry Dietz completely sees an opportunity there to go to the beach and connect with her, not on a game level, but on a human level.
Because he said, he's like, I could relate to her. She's a human that's upset. It's everybody else is thinking about it strategy-wise and as a game, and she's crying on the beach by herself. So, like, he was like, his father, like, presence, his fatherly instincts really got brought out there.
Yeah. And I believe that too. Like,
good job, Terry.
Afterwards, once he started talking a little more strategy, I was like, did he do that on purpose? But no, it seemed pretty genuine when he went over to console her.
And then I think after a while, it was like,
oh, then I'm going to keep consoling her.
Wait.
Consoling her, yeah.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Which is great because I think obviously
it worked out for him.
Terry's like,
and her.
This is what Varner was talking about all along. So, great work, old schoolers. It seems like things are working out in your favor.
Yeah, Varner really lit that fire there.
Varner.
Right?
Yes,
For the whole
because the
episode.
next morning, Varner and Abby Maria were on the beach talking about let's form an alliance. Abby Maria is obviously complaining about her alliance turning on her and laughing at her and whatever. And Jeff saw like, hey, let's work together. Let's seize this opportunity and
I just love how he was like touching her shoulder. He's like,
yeah. And I love how he was like, who needs food when you have Abby Maria?
She's so delicious.
She's delicious.
And he's like, we literally have our own version of a Brazilian soap opera.
Yeah.
So good.
like
that.
His little one-liners. But one thing that Spencer brings up about Abby Maria is that she's a permanent liability to any alliance, any gameplay whatsoever. She's just extra body weight to lug around.
He literally compared her to cancer.
Yeah.
No.
Yikes. Doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Takeo. You're a hot mess, but I love it.
They're a hot mess.
I love watching you guys.
They're a hot mess.
To me, right now, they're the stars of the show.
Oh, yeah.
They have star quality more so than Bayon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bayon's just having a good time.
A good old time.
Having a good old time.
Just camping out.
Before we move on to the last half of this episode, I just want to remind everyone out there who's watching this to give us 5 stars, rate, comment, and subscribe to AfterBuzz TV. If you like what you see, let us know. If there's something we should change or work on, let us know, because we really thrive off our fan interactions and opinions. So please keep it coming and make sure to follow us on social media every week to keep up to date with what we're doing.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the immunity challenge.
Okay.
So this is a really fun immunity challenge. A lot of things happened, and there's a lot of, I guess, innuendos that Jeff kept saying, and I was like,
Oh,
that could be taken the wrong way. if that little sound bite was spliced.
I feel like
into
he
something
always
else.
does that. Like, Varner bringing down a heavy load here.
Yeah, he always wants to pick on the last person or the person who's having a hard time. He's always got to point it out.
There's a lot of
Varner
skin.
falls. He can't get up.
He
He's like,
loves it.
That was a rough one. There's a lot of skin on that one.
Yeah.
And I just love how when he talks, it's very paused.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, da, da, da.
He's been doing this for a long time. You know?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Well, immediately in this challenge, the first thing that stuck out to me was when Bayon was asked who's sitting out for this tribe. Sierra was very vocal in the fact that, hey, I'm not feeling well. I need to sit out. And you could really see it on her face. Something's just not right with Sierra.
She looked like sick.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's maybe setting up an episode to come, if this sickness or illness that Sierra is feeling is ultimately going to be her downfall and she's going to be voted out as a considered weak member.
We just need to see more of Bayon in general. Like, we haven't seen anything of Monica, anything of Sierra. We don't know what's going on with them.
Right.
Yeah, poor Monica. Monica.
Only Jill.
So Sierra sits out for Bayon, and just like last episode in that immunity challenge, Takeo like hits the ground running, and like they seem like they're working really well together. They're really strong. They're communicating. They're listening to one another. And then when it's like the last second of the challenge, when the pressure's really on, they completely drop the ball.
Yeah.
And Bayon finds a way to come out on top, because I really thought
they were
tonight
very
for
behind,
a second Takeo was going to win. I was like, thank God. I'm ready to see some strategy and where the alliances are on Bayon. But no.
Yeah.
Last
Losing
second.
it.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like, because they finished the puzzle first, but I think they kind of just flipped the two images. So they finished first. It
Right.
just wasn't right.
Yeah.
Not right. Well, they had to switch out people more than once.
Yeah.
We have in the challenge, originally it was PG and Kelly Wentworth doing the puzzle, but then Kelly switches out for Spencer. PG switches out for Shireen. So it's Spencer and Shireen, the two people that are at the bottom of their tribe.
Yeah.
Like Jeff said, they blew it. It's
Shireen
kinda
was
poetic
panicking.
because their
my
fate was in their hands and they lost it for our tribe. I loved what Jeff said.
Had
It's
fate
so
in their
true.
own hands and they lost
Yeah.
it.
So because they just couldn't get that puzzle right.
It ruined their whole puzzle from now on.
They are being sent to tribal council yet again. But I liked that, opposed to last week when we had the tribe go straight to tribal council. There wasn't a lot of scrambling. It was back to normal.
Yeah.
Thank
Back to
you,
normal.
Survivor. But there's a lot of scrambling going on.
Oh,
Who's it
Shireen
gonna
was
be?
so
Shireen or
stressed.
Spencer? But it was so funny because Shireen did not have any idea that she was going to be even
Zero.
a target, let alone this early in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
We see Kelly talking about how she finds herself in an alliance that she doesn't want to necessarily work with, being the old school alliance. But Kelly, obviously not wanting to be in the minorities, like, this is an
I'm going with the
opportunity
flow.
I gotta
Yeah,
flow with.
smart.
So she's playing all angles, which
I love
Kelly.
too how she, like, they go up to Woo and he's like, you know what, you guys have not talked to me one other time except now to try to like use me to vote for you. And he's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I love that from Woo.
So straightforward.
Well, it's because Shireen approached Abby Maria, and there was like this awkward like silence of them walking down the beach together.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
what are they going to do? Go frolic in the jungle? Like, why are they walking together? But Shireen wanted to apologize to Abby Maria for not sticking up for her in the moment of everyone laughing at Abby Maria.
Right.
And Abby Maria was like, I don't play that.
I don't play that. You're only
my style.
apologizing. Well, she knew. You're only apologizing to me now, like to
It's a
get
little
me.
too
Yeah,
late.
it's too late. Like, don't come now.
And that's when Abby Maria spills the beans to Shireen. Hey, they're thinking about getting rid of your Spencer tonight. And Shireen's face is like, trying so hard to convince Abby Maria, come back to my side.
Please help me.
Right. Which up until that point, she was kind of like, okay, I apologize. Are we cool?
Yeah, are we cool?
She was like, because that's all I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Second Shireen flip, she's like, oh, okay. I mean, Abby flipped.
Yeah.
And that's when
She is
Shireen goes a little cray-cray,
Mm-hmm.
pulls to Spencer's side, lets Spencer know that they're on the chopping block.
And
That's
then
when they pull
and he
Woo
starts
aside, and
tripping.
Woo's like, yo, we've been playing this game for, what, 6 days? And neither of you sat down with me to talk game whatsoever, which I find interesting because Spencer and Woo were on Survivor Cagayan together.
Oh.
So I was like, I didn't, we haven't really seen much of a relationship from them from being on the same season.
Right.
But Shireen did present a really strong case to Woo that's like, hey, if you're going to continue working with the old schoolers, that's great. But you have to realize when the merge happens, you're
out.
outnumbered
Big threat.
by the old schoolers and you're a challenge threat.
Yeah.
So Shireen made a really strong
But
case.
he still
that it wasn't
stuck to
strong
what
enough.
he still stuck to his
Yeah.
his thoughts, and he did what he had to do.
Yeah, I respect him for that.
Yeah, I
He's
do too.
strong. It's hard to say no to people like
Exactly.
straight in the face,
Right in
especially when
their
they're like
face, too.
being that, on you.
He was like, absolutely not.
Exactly.
And I feel like
Good
having
for
people
him.
like you gets you farther in the game than just playing strategy and allies. It's like
well, that's right at the beginning. We saw that, like, right away. They're like, Spencer and Shereen are playing too much of the game, like way too much, right from the get go.
The new school way.
Yeah.
But now when there's a balance of old school versus new school, you gotta find a balance.
Right.
Gotta find a balance.
Can't scheme too hard.
Yeah.
Well, when the realization and the reality start to like set in for Spencer and Shereen, Shereen's like, I'm gonna have to vote for Spencer. I don't want to vote for Spencer, but if that's the only other person being talked about, it's what I gotta do. And then poor Spencer was like so emotionally bent over this. He was like,
She's the one
I'm gonna
person
have
I
to
wanted
vote,
to play with.
and I have to vote her out now. And I can't.
sweet.
That's sad.
They both were so sad voting for each other, and they were like, they knew what they had to do. That's sad.
Gotta play the game.
Gotta play the game.
Which leads us to Tribal Council. Yet again, an entertaining one, to say the least.
Oh my god, I literally had a pit in my stomach. I was like, who's going home?
So Jeff already starts asking Varner all the questions because Varner's just a straight shooter. He's going to tell it as it is. And then Jeff brings up to Shereen, like, hey, like, after what everyone's saying, you enjoyed your first time around. And she's like, I didn't enjoy my first time around. And now I feel like I'm in the same position I was on my original season. Shereen.
Yeah. When she said that, everyone else was like, really? You're not going to appreciate this?
I mean, you're not enjoying yourself, then why are you back for a second chance?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I understand, like, you feel a little defeated. I get that. It's obviously a human reaction, but still.
Yeah, because they said everybody else like has amnesia, like they don't have fun, but then they come and they go home and they're like, oh, it was so much fun, like we need to go back. And then they're like, wait, it wasn't fun the first time.
And then Shereen gets kind of owned by Jeff when Jeff was saying, so Shereen, last season, you said it very clearly that Mike came to save you when you needed someone the most. Abby Maria now on the flip side is saying that Terry came to her when she needed someone to save her the most. And Shereen, like, what? You dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
So Abby Maria, again, back in the same place. Like, she's kind of just
She's sitting
doing it.
She's sitting pretty right now.
Yeah.
She's feeling good.
And then, of course, Jeff asks, so, like, did you guys narrow the vote down tonight? And Varner's like, yep. Down to one of the two, Shereen or Spencer.
Yeah, and Spencer's like, we don't need to talk in codes here. Like, we know that it's either me or Shereen. So.
Right.
And we see Shereen not really giving any sort of plea or case as to why she should stay over Spencer. Like, Spencer acted in that moment and was like, look, I've have flaws, and I obviously started off this game the same way I did in Survivor Cagayan. I want a chance.
And he named every single one of them and said, hey, listen. Yeah. And I feel like that helped him a little bit.
Yeah, that was a big move. He totally appealed to their feelings. You know?
Absolutely.
Whereas Shereen was like, well, if I don't go home, it's going to be a third chance for me. That's a once in a lifetime. I was like, that's not a good speech. Like, no one wants to give you a once in a lifetime chance.
Right. When she was talking, they showed that little like shot of Woo. His face was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's all you're going to say?
I freaking love Woo.
I know. So genuine.
Yeah.
So I think she just kind of threw in the towel. That's what it came off to me like.
Exactly.
Sheridan just like, odds are against me.
Well, whatever.
Come on, Bram.
Which just made it easier for everyone else.
But the vote was so close that I was really like, I already knew what happened, but had I not known what happened,
I didn't know what happened. That's why I was like literally like biting my nails. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God.
who did you guys think were gonna go home?
I thought it was gonna be Shereen. And like, I mean, just as it was happening, I was like, it's gotta be Shereen. And we saw like the literal like relief wash over Spencer's face when he didn't get voted out. And I was like,
So grateful.
crazy. Did you guys think that Shereen was
I
going
thought
home, or
it
do you
was
think
gonna be
Spencer?
Spencer. I think he's a stronger link out of the two. So I thought he was going to go out because of that. But then when he gave that speech,
Yeah. I don't know. I had a feeling it was going to be Shereen. I just had a feeling.
I'm just glad it's not Spencer. He's on my Survivor fantasy team.
Yeah.
Of course,
So now we're both down one.
and I have Abby Marie. Great.
Hey, but she got a lot of screen time.
But you got both the hot old guys. You got Savage and you got Terry D.
I like my old man.
So the final vote tribal council was 5 votes for Shereen, 4 votes for Spencer, and I think the logic by splitting it was just in case one of them had a hidden immunity idol, then the other one would go home. So it was brilliant gameplay. Of course, we talked a little bit just now about our Survivor Fantasy League. If you guys don't know already, before the show even started, we assessed the cast and did a little bit of like a fantasy draft, kind of like, you know, if you do fantasy football. But we did it for Survivor because we're that big of fans. So on our teams, it looks like Marina and Paige have both lost a
I
member.
hate that X through their face. Like, it just makes me so
I love it.
James goes,
dramatic
sorry.
Yeah.
For
Sorry.
dramatic effect.
I
love
have
it.
Steven too. I have Marie and Steven. I have the crazy ones.
Yeah.
Hey, but you have the two
have the two,
good-looking older guys, Savage
it's
and Terry.
Savage. I'm happy. Savage is in my team.
He's
Right,
aged
My
a
team
lot.
might be pretty weak right now, honestly.
I don't think your team is necessarily weak. We just haven't seen a lot of them
Yeah.
as players
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
They
that's
haven't
true.
gotten
That's true.
enough screen time to say that they're weak.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, I don't think is weak by any means. I think Jeremy
No.
is a front runner for me with the Bayon Tribe. So I think Jeremy's in a good place. PG's kind of on the fence because it seems like her name's been brought up a lot in the drama.
Yeah,
We haven't
more
seen
so
anything
Abby
of
Maria.
Tasha, really.
Tasha, yeah, and Wu.
He's kind of keeping
Killing
himself
it.
right
I think he's
now.
doing
Yeah.
well.
So I don't think you have a weak team.
Okay, thanks, James. Thank you.
But yeah, Marina.
Poor Vide. Yeah.
Marina. Shireen and Abby Maria. Yikes.
I know. I didn't expect.
Well,
her
I
to
feel
be-
like Abby Maria's not going to do as bad as we.
I think
I
she's
don't
gonna
think so
go
either.
far.
At
down
first,
than
the first
she's
two,
gonna.
really
like,
far,
even at the
actually.
beginning of this episode, I was like, she's gone. But, like, now I feel like, honestly, she's
People
doing
are
a
gonna,
good job.
People
Like,
are gonna keep playing her in a way.
Exactly.
Right? Keeping her
Exactly.
around, dragging her here, do this, do this.
Right.
And,
they're like,
and
using
she
her
wants,
like a little freaking puppet.
I mean, and she's gonna do it, right? She wants to stay in. She's like, these people like me. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna do what they want. Mm-hmm.
And that's why
It could. Episode.
Yeah. it could
Varner
be-
completely sees that as an
Yeah.
opportunity. Like, hey, if no
Jumped
one wants
on
to play
that.
with Abby Maria, I will, because
Exactly.
that's a vote
I'ma eat
in
that
my
up.
pocket. So he's got the right thing
he's
down
smart.
with that. Susanna, how do you
Smart
feel
guy.
with your team now after 2 episodes?
It's hard to say because we haven't really seen much of them, except for all the, Joga and Joe,
Joga.
MacGyver.
Joe this, Joe that.
really seen
Other
anything
than that,
cute.
we haven't really seen any of them. Maybe a little bit of Kelly last episode, but I'm still waiting to see. But I mean, that makes me feel safe at least.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
How do you feel with your team, James?
I mean, not to brag, but I feel like I have a team of stars.
Yeah, we haven't seen much
Wow.
of Kimmy, but
I don't know.
I have a pretty star-studded team of Spencer, Kelly, and Jeff. Poor Monica, has she really spoken much?
Literally not
at
spoken.
all. And then Kimmy, we saw a little bit last episode. So I don't know. I don't hate my team by any means.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it
They're all really likable, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for now.
For
The
now.
gloves will come
You're
off
right, you're right.
eventually. But that's our fantasy team, you guys. We are playing on fantasizer.com, FANTAZR. There's no ER.
R.
So just the ZR.
One R.
Fantasizer.com. I'm a part of 3 leagues, which is kind of embarrassing.
What
But
are the
I
other
am.
ones?
Wow.
Amazing Race.
Well, for Survivor, I'm in 3.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Because John Carroll from Survivor Marquesas started it on Fantasizer and invited me to 2, and I was like, fine, I'll play both. So I'm playing both.
Do you have 5 players on each?
No, there's more players actually on each league, so I have like 3 on one, 2 on
Do you have the
other.
same people?
No, I have Vetus on one of mine.
You do?
I
Oh my
did. So I'm
god.
already down a member, but I'm feling pretty confident about Team James for Survivor.
What's the
AFTERBUZZ.
winner gonna get?
Oh,
Can we, like, do
good
something?
point.
Oh, that's a good question.
So if you guys want to play along and start a fantasy team of your own, make sure to head over to fantasizer.com, get your friends, your family, your coworkers, anyone who's a Survivor fan in general, and play along because it makes this season a lot more fun too. It just adds to the fun and the entertainment.
Let us know what our end prize should be.
Yeah,
Yes.
let us
Some
know.
suggestions.
Yes.
Let's do some predictions
Okay.
and talk about what we think is going to happen next episode.
Okay.
And now, your
wants to
AfterBuzz
start?
TV.
Well, we saw a little bit that they're going to be splitting the tribes to 3.
Which
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
really
yeah.
excited about. I think that's going to be awesome.
Mixing it up.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big deal.
The 3 tribes will be Bayon, Takeo, and the new tribe is Ingor.
Ingor?
Ew.
So it's going to be like
on it.
like a gold or a yellow type tribe. You can buy the buff on CBS.com.
Gold.
That's how I know.
Oh my god.
Plug there.
Yeah. So now that we know the tribes are getting split up into 3, which I love because it completely puts an end to any sort of pre-existing alliances before coming into the game, which we know if you do your research on the show, which as fans that's what we do. There was a lot of pre-existing relationships going into this season, so it kind of prevents that from happening. And I am excited to see everyone be like, now I gotta scramble.
Now we gotta scramble. Yeah, they're all gonna be scrambling next week.
Fresh start.
So what do you guys think is gonna happen, and who do you think is gonna go home if you had to guess?
Well, I don't think Eva Marie is going home anymore.
No.
I think Sierra might be in a little bit of trouble.
Just because she was sick.
But yeah, I mean,
I think it'll be Sierra.
Yeah.
That'll go home?
Yes.
Yeah.
We haven't seen much from her, and then this one episode, it was just like, I'm sick, I really don't feel well, and you can just see it on her.
Yeah, she looks really
That I can
drained.
only imagine the next episode, her just it kind of catching up to her, and everyone be like,
yeah.
That'd be
kind
very
of
That's
helpful
true.
and like.
Because they didn't show any of that either, so I'm sure they're just holding on to that.
So I'm worried.
Maybe we'll see
I'm
that
worried
next week.
about.
What else do you guys
Sierra.
think?
I don't know. I wonder if the tribes will become even in the sense of 3 guys and 3 girls per tribe. Now that we have Vetus and Shireen out, takes a guy and a girl out, it could be even that way. Or if it'll be like maybe one tribe will end up all girls if it's random draw. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see how the cards fall with the new tribes.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
that'll be
I
interesting.
don't know. I kind of would like to see Steven go, even though he's in my team.
Yeah. I don't know.
You just want to get him out of there.
I just don't enjoy watching him. And
Steven or Sierra?
I don't know.
I have faith that Steven will be more
He's gonna come
entertaining to
around.
watch as the episodes go on. It's just right now I'm just a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I need to see more of him, honestly.
I want to talk about some of the comments in the live chat now that I finally got it loaded. Vincent W2. I acknowledge the fact that we do have last season's logo in our background, so thank you for pointing that out to us. It'll be changed next week. And last but not least, I give some shout outs right now to Plurum B, Elot Cole, Sheena123, Phil the Issues Guy, CMJ329, Bart J. Braswell, who else? Matt G. We have a lot of chat going on. Joseph Boza. Joseph Boza is a great guy. He follows me on my Amazing Race After Show too. So Joseph, you're awesome. And yeah, everyone's talking. Oh, Joseph goes, what's wrong with Monica? There's nothing wrong with Monica.
No, she just literally isn't.
She's just like.
We just haven't seen.
She
much
literally
from
hasn't just
her.
been on the show,
Yeah,
and we haven't seen her talk at all.
Joseph
So hopefully-
goes, imagine if Spencer got sent home. How would James act? I would have been. I would have been real mad.
Yeah, real pissed.
So I want to bring, it's not really like news or gossip or anything of that nature, but I found online the other day like a Survivor drinking game.
Oh, yes.
That this fan put together, and it was like all the different faces of all the Survivor contestants, and then underneath it was like a rule for that contestant. I don't know if there's a graphic for it, if we have it or not, but anyway, we should start playing along, and everyone at home should start playing along too.
Oh, they're funny. Like
So funny.
anytime Cass talks about her legacy, anytime Monica speaks, drink. Like,
Every time Wiggleworth lets her tribe down. It's just like,
Anytime Keith has no idea what's going on.
yeah.
It's all the time.
it's too good and so perfect and accurate that we just need to play along. So I will be tweeting this beautiful picture out
yes.
to
So funny.
everyone. So if you want to go to @James Wallington, you can get the rule sheet that way. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up Survivor MacGyver episode 2.
Survivor MacGyver.
MacGyver. Paige, where can they find you on social media?
Okay, well, you guys can find me on social media at Paige Bonanno.
And you can find me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim and on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
Marina?
You can find me on social media at Marina Santos Fit.
And you can find me on Twitter at James Wallington, on Instagram at James.Wallington, and my YouTube channel, Where's Wallington. And last but not least, if you're a fan of reality television like The Amazing Race, Survivor, or Big Brother for that matter, I participated in a little web series called Big Sister this summer, and we've been watching episodes on YouTube. You can go to Big Sister TV on Twitter to follow along and see how well I do in the competition. Yes.
Get it.
Awesome.
We will be back next week at 8 o'clock watching here, and then going live at 9 o'clock. So we'll see you next Wednesday evening. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.